so much gloom hiding the reality. It's just a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's just it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's just yeah. Take a look into the sky. Take a look into the sky.
Look in the sky.
Keep your head up high.
High. Keep your head high.
Take a look into the sky.
Ready to roll. We hope you're tied on, and a good hearty Sunday morning to all on this June 17th. Happy Father's Day as well to all the dads and the pops out there. Jason Blewett, Ron Nicoletti alongside. Happy Father's Day to you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we've got no shortage of racing to go around. We've got, in fact, another 12-race card.
12-race card and a beautiful day again in South Florida. A little on the warm side, we'll call it. A fast main track and a firm turf course.
Yeah, just 13 days out from the Summit of Speed here on that closing weekend of the spring meet on June the 30th. Good stuff there, and good stuff with a couple of key carryovers as we start the first of 12, a little after 12:45 p.m. Just under $6,000 in that dollar super high five that gets underway in the first race, which is a dirt race. We've also got the starting point of the 50-cent early pick five, another 12-pack Sunday. You know, when we have 12, we've got 3 pick fours, and that 50-cent middle pick four gets underway in earnest in the 5th race this afternoon, a dirt race for $10,000 maiden claimers. And Ronnie, over the last couple of days, we've picked up about $100,000 in the Rainbow Six carryover.
Yeah, just knocking on the door of over $600,000, so we're going to be well over that this afternoon. And what a Father's Day gift that will be for someone if they can nail it. And the best part, only a 20-cent wager to get involved.
You've got that right, my friend. Full circle, as we always do, race number 8, a very late pick 5. On the 9 race cards, it feels like it's an early bird late pick 5. Today, it's a very late pick 5. 50 cent the minimum there. I'll have a $12 ticket coming up down the pipeline in race number 8 this afternoon. But we do begin with fast and firm conditions on this 12-race Father's Day. Already a nice crowd downstairs in 10 Palms and in Christine Lee's as we settle in from our 3rd floor clubhouse studios. We'll focus in as well as we settle in on my early pick 5 play that sees me using $18 worth of spreading. I used 2 closers in the first, and that worries me to an extent. I also, in the end, opted to use, and who knows how the 7 Jaden's Best runs. Did he fire his best last time, and will he go off form again? I'm not sure, but he's got speed, and speed has been absolutely king on this main track all week long at Gulfstream Park. 3 deep for me in the second. I think the biggest key, and you pick Roses in the South. In fact, you've got the 2 speeds on top. They're either going to run 1-2, they're going to duel each other into defeat, or one of them is going to duel the other one into the ground and is going to win. Those are basically the 3 outcomes of the second. Now, the 3rd race this afternoon, couple of key scratches in that race. It really is a 3-horse affair between the inside horse, Tiuna, the 7 Milbra, I used both of them, and Commissioned, who I trimmed off the ticket because he's not a speed horse, or in this case, she is not a speed horse. But one of those 3 is most likely going to win the 3rd. 2 deep for me in the 4th. Trip is going to be huge in that race. It's another jam-packed $10,000 claiming race on the turf. There's a whole big, in fact, 7 horses are rematching off a race here just 2 weeks ago. So you've got that whole contingent, couple of drop-downs who I preferred over the rematch horses from June the 3rd. And then if we get up to race number 5, there aren't many reasonable, logical options on paper, Ronnie. I'm hoping the 7 Grand Aventura, although her mile race was not good here a few weeks ago, hoping she can just blast off, put them to bed early on. And this has been a main track, again, to be fair, that's been carrying horses like her.
Yeah, and I think it has to do a little bit with the weather around here. It's just been so hot, even though you wet the track, it just stays fast. So we'll see if that carries on this afternoon. You can change like that.
Yeah, Mother Nature, I mean, this is not an indoor facility per se. I mean, Mother Nature has her way. It's a gigantic main track, all things considered. Enter, of course, at that, at a mile and a furlong in circumference. And clearly, this has been a warm, sunny week here at Gulfstream Park, and speed's been just as hot as the mercury. And in fact, that is, to me at least, the main plot line going into this first race, which is a dated 6250 bottom level claimer. And I say dated because this is for horses that have not won won a race since Christmas Eve back on December 24th. They'll meet at the one-turn mile, and although, Ronnie, you and I have the same exact box, the 3-horse Over Limit and the number 5 Starship Rocky first and second, one of those horses, I'm hoping, if one of them's going to win, they may have to get themselves in the game maybe a little sooner or earlier than they're usually accustomed to.
Yeah, and I mean, just to see how the racetrack is going to play. You mentioned when you were talking about your ticket about Jaden's Best is turning back to a mile, open and surrendered that 2-length lead. So you think this one's going to be on the engine this afternoon. But I did go with the 5 Starship Rocky, dropping to a good spot after rallying on a sealed sloppy track to come within a neck of defeating those 6,250. Those were open claimers. It's a much easier spot at the distance, but it's going to have to get some speed in front of it to do its best.
Absolutely. As we come off a Saturday card, we've told you speed did well here yesterday. It did well Thursday and Friday, too. Just case in point, 6 dirt races yesterday out of the 12-race card. All 6 were won either wire to wire or by the pressing speed, either a horse that was running second throughout inside or pressing outside. We just didn't see many late runs materializing from the back of the pack. Also, you got a little stat action here with Peter Walder, right?
Over Limit, the horse that you have on top of your tickets, drops into this condition claimer. But look at this stat. 50% drop in claiming price with horses going from a sprint to a route. It's a limited sampling, but boy, is it good. He's 3 for 7, 43%, 57% in the money, $1.59 return of investment. He does real good with horses dropping down, puts them where they can win. So I just thought those were the logical 3.5. Jaden Best goes to the lead. Maybe he never looks back.
Yeah, that could be the case. If his last can be taken at face value, you combine that with the track that is kind of speed, he could be very tough. And in fact, somebody probably bet $10 to win on him at this point, which is why he's 1-9. Very small pool, obviously, with 53 minutes on the clock. To the turf we go for race number 2, and we do go up in class for Sunday's second on this Father's Day as we have these 3-and-up fillies and mares and this $20,000 optional claimer. In my eyes, the biggest pre-race plot line is the pace. What happens with the 3 Roses in the South? Who's a better horse? She's got more quality than the 4 Salsalita, but they're both fast, run-and-gun types, and they're both need-the-lead horses. If one of them doesn't make the lead, they're probably not winning. So do they hook up here, and do they basically eliminate each other?
Well, my thought process was that Roses in the South is the speed of the speed, and I think if she gets out there, Salsalita cannot run with her. That's what I thought. That was my thought process. Returning to her most accomplished surface, she's had 8 races with 4 wins on the turf course. You know, she broke a little slow. It was on that wet track listed as good. My thought process, go to the lead and put the other speed to sleep.
Yeah, she might be a little faster than Salsalita. I'll be anxious to see what happens on the first couple of strides in the break, because all that stuff is going to be very key in the second. And if they hook and they go really fast, Awesome and Then Some, the number 2, may just trip out in this race. She's very good when she's able to play her part on the front end or playing the point. She can also rate a little bit, and that is a trait that Roses in the South and Salsalita do not own. So I think hopefully that moves up Awesome and Then Some, and I respect the 5 Cordelli as well, who, if things get hot and heavy up front, she'll be perhaps the deep closer you'd want if that race completely melts down. Third race as we head back to the main track. This was the one race. I'd say the scratch or 2 there way down the line in race 9 or race number 10 today. That's the biggest scratch on today's card. But we had a couple of key defections, and do have 2 key defections out of this Sunday third. A 5-horse field now on the main track, and these are 3-and-up filly and mare 6250 claimers. Tayuna is coming out of a dirt win in this one's last start on the main track. It's a race we'll bring you back on May 18th. The good news, I think, if you like her today, she's got the rail and she's got speed. So that, in theory, makes her tough. I would also note that even though this is a very much gapped out off the turf race, the good news is the track was fast. Wasn't sloppy or anything like that. It was also opened and harrowed. So it's not like she caught a sealed wet track that she just skimmed the top over. She caught a main track that is very comparable to, I think, the surface she'll be running over today with jockey Nick Juarez and trainer Francisco D'Angelo. She's a major player, as is the 7 Milbra, who's done some good things in the past. And although Milbra is a little versatile and can win stalking in mid-pack and then putting in that extended run, she has shown the ability to be up in the game, and I like the fact that she's first-time Oscar Gonzalez, and she can get right, hopefully, onto Tiuna off the break.
Well, the scratches in the race ruined my whole thought process in this race because Commission was my best bet early on because I just saw a lot of speed in here with Tiuna, and I thought Commission, who moved to the Angel Rodriguez barn, drops to this level. I thought this horse would get a perfect trip, be a little priced because Tiuna's 6-5 on the morning line. I figured Commission would sit that perfect trip, but I lost a couple of speeds in the race, so things have changed in here. But let me show you the stat on Angel Rodriguez with the first start after the claim, 31 to 60 days with horses going from turf to dirt. He's 3 for 9, 33%. He's in the money 67% of the time with a positive return of investment, and that was my thought process. So now it certainly looks like Milborough or Tiuna might be the logical two. Commission, I was waiting for this horse to run because I knew everybody was going to jump on Tiuna, but that's what happens with scratches.
All right, a 56-day layoff for the 6th Commissioned, who's got Gulfstream's A-Rod in her corner today. Angel Rodriguez does a good job. Very good with firsters as well. And we'll see how Commission does if she can take advantage of a pace that could be on the fast side. And, of course, how will the main track play today here at Gulfstream Park? Race number 4 is that aforementioned big field on the turf. These are $10,000 turf claimers going a mile on a 16th. Trip is going to be paramount here. I just don't see a real clear there's, a big favorite or clear horse to beat. So that complicates things right off the bat. The other major sort of pre-race key is you've got a whole crew. In fact, after scratches, the number 7-horse card spun was scratched. 6 horses are coming out of the same race here just 2 Sundays back on June the 3rd. And they all basically, at least the ones that really ran well, all had different trips. We will show you that race, and we'll pick it up from the break. The one you want to watch is the one we've got highlighted in the red circle, the number 9 Fast Fire. He's more of a closer, but he was very lethargic early on. I think slower than usual, and he's way behind the 8 ball. We'll pick it up turning for home. Now, towards the front of the pack, we have Diamond Square, who's in the white inside battling. Here comes Fast Fire, who after that slow break, boy, did he get a good ride from Raylo Gutierrez. Pulls his way outside. He'll come with a late run. If we could just freeze it there, guys. Diamond Square, who's the 3-horse today for Patrick B. and Cone, is in the white cap between. On the outside of him, Whiskey Train, the number 5 horse on this particular day in the black cap is Whiskey Train, who ran well. Fast Fire, though, as the boys picked up at the top of the stretch, he's way outside, widest of all, red cap. He'll put in a huge late run. Do you want, and we could roll the tape again, but do you want anybody out of this race?
Yeah, I want 2 of them out of that race. Not the one that's closing very strongly on the outside. I ended up with Diamond Square. I was hoping to save a tad more for the stretch stride. You saw that. He dueled throughout. He held on gamely. I thought it was a good performance by him. He only got beat that half length that day, and he was up there, all along, all the time. I know the other horse had trouble, broke slowly in there. I just thought that was a good performance. Am I leaving Whiskey Train off the ticket? No. And this is one of those races where there's so many different ways you can go. Yeah. And I thought those were the logical 2 off that performance.
Yeah, they both ran well in that race. For me, though, I just don't particularly care for anybody out of that race. It was just such a bunched up, tight finish, even for turf racing standards, where you normally get those really tight, hotly contested finishes. I'm just not a fan of that race with that entire field basically coming together there in the final few strides. So I'm going to go with a couple of drop downs. And the number 2, Zitman, who is coming out of a much tougher race, and Danny Gargan's hot and heavy basically just speed popped that field that afternoon and bottomed out that group. I think he is definitely well met and a very snug fit for 10,000. And the number 10, Smart Return, has got Gaffleone for Peter Walder. He's coming out of that same race, never got on track. I like both drop downs, but a very challenging 4th race. I mean, you might be dealing with the favorite, Ronnie, certainly no lower than 5-2, but you might get a favorite in that race who's 3-1 or even 7-2.
Absolutely. I was chuckling when it first came out because I was looking at our selections. Usually we're in the ballpark, but we got different theories in that particular race. So that's what makes it so much fun. And we'll have bragging rights in our office when that race ends.
Absolutely. We'll talk about it even before the race in the 4th. So stay tuned. All right, 5th race, middle pick 4, back on the main track, 10K maiden claimers. They will go a demanding for this caliber, and I think this division. This will be a demanding race as far as the distance going the mile. Caribbean Girl on the rail has got some speed with Miguel Vasquez. I wound up, though, taking Gran Aventura as my early pick 5 single, thinking the only way she wins is if she gets a biased track and she just blasts off. kind of outlasts the others and just gets brave on the front end.
Well, what I like, one of my angles, the reason I use Caribbean Girl on top, stretching out to her best distance thus far. She's had 4 races at the distance with a couple of seconds, and that was what I used to separate Caribbean Girl and Grand Aventura. But I like, not like you, could not single a horse in the eye. I went too deep in there. But that is a wide open affair.
It is, because I'm sure there's some people out here that are saying, look, I know Caribbean Girl and Grand Aventura are going to be bet. Neither one of them is very good. I want to shop around and maybe come up with a bomber. This race could have a chaos, blow-up horse on the tote board looming. We'll see. I get favorites. The 2 favorites inside and out might be a little vulnerable. We just didn't know where else to go. Here's the 6th on the afternoon, $10,000, 3-and-up filly mare, claiming sprinters, in fact. These are the gals. They'll go 5 furlongs on the turf, and you've got trainer Victor Barboza Jr. doing his typical meet after meet. Good job. I'm not totally in love with the slight, very moderate drop in claiming price off the claim from 12.5 to 10, but her versatility and the fact that the number 3 Gracie Spirit just always seems to give a good account of herself, that's going to outweigh the potential negative here. I'll take her off a 50-day layoff.
Yeah, and Victor Barboza, really strong first start off the claim, but I went a little bit of a long shot here, actually, in here, Wild Cheers, and here's my thought. It's a pop-and-go pick for me. This one's making a local return first start. She used her speed to defeat 16 3-lifetime claimers, going 5 panels. Up at Tampa, it's Dennis Ward, Jose Alvarez, and my thought process is if this horse goes to the lead, maybe I can get a little bit of a price. I'm using Gracie Spirit along with Poopsie Doopsie, but the Wild Cheers, I think, is 12 to 1 on the morning line, and just like I say, a speed, pop, and go play for me.
And we're still waiting. Maybe Dennis Ward. There'll be a lot of cheering in the winner's circle.
That's
He's
right.
still sitting on 999 career victories, trying to hit that 1K milestone. Maybe Ronnie sussed out the right kind of speed play in the number 7 Wild Cheers, as we will hold our cheering from now because we've got a lot more show remaining. In fact, the second segment coming up after this quick timeout.
Whether you're at home or at the track, have a stake in the race when you bet with ExpressBet. Sign up for an ExpressBet online betting account and receive up to a $500 sign-up bonus.
As an owner, I love the Breeders' Cup Win in Your In series.
To win one of these challenge series is a way that we kind of map out our schedule throughout the year with our horses.
If you win one of the challenge races, you have a very good horse.
The King George, which is our Win in Your In race, provides the top middle distance horse in Europe. We saw Highland Real running both races.
We know when we show up at the Breeders' Cup, we've got the world to beat, not just everybody in the United States. Breeders' Cup Challenge, win, and you're in.
And a live welcome back. If you're just joining us, a happy Father's Day to all the dads out there on this Sunday, June the 17th, here from our clubhouse studios at beautiful and sunny and toasty Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti, Jason Blewett, happy to have you with us. And just 13 days out, looking at that Breeders' Cup Win in Your In commercial, we get the Princess Rooney here in just 2 Saturdays from now on June 30th, and Will Curlin's approval for the 2nd straight year punch her ticket to the BC.
I talked to Happy Alter on the way in this morning, and the horse worked yesterday, and he said that went a very easy 47. So, yeah, one thing about Happy, he's always very confident.
He
so
is.
the horse is doing well.
And he loves, boy, can he tell a story and can he talk? I'm glad he let you go in time to get up here to start the show.
I just made it.
I was getting a little nervous. I said, oh, Ronnie's probably talking to Happy again. I don't think Happy's running anything on today's card.
He's got something in the 9th. At least that's what he told me.
All right, so he does have something in the 9th, and we'll certainly turn the page. We'll get on to the opening leg of the Rainbow Six here. Oh, he's got Motown Man with David Kazan. That horse may move up a little bit because, again, Ralph Nix, major scratch in that race of Tudare. Did you single Todd Pletcher's horse, Ruler of the Nile, in that race?
Did not. I went too deep in there in that particular race.
Did you use Dizzy too?
No, I used the other horse in there from what's his name? Hold on a second. Let me tell you right now. Who I used?
What do you got, Leo Gabriel?
No, Asterisk. I just went with the
Asterisk.
hot bomb, Stanley Gold and Jeffrey Sanchez.
Yeah.
But, you know, my ticket here first starts off, you see it's $43.20, and the big drop down in the first leg, of course, Master Rory, really a low price on the line. But I just, after yesterday's last race where everybody in America singled the horse, I couldn't do it. So, and we're talking about Todd Pletcher's horse, is a $1 million son of Pioneer of the Nile, Ruler of the Nile. That is in race 9, but I use those 3 horses. I use Asterisk and that horse. Now, did you single on your ticket when you go through?
I do not have a... Oh, I singled Pletcher's horse.
Yeah.
I singled Rule of the Nile. And believe me, I was very much on the fence with him with Tudor in the race. I thought Tudor was really going to test Rule of the Nile. It was either single Todd's horse or use both that horse and Dizzy Gillespie, who's been in raging form. All of a sudden, it's like cranking out, 90 buyers like clockwork for Rohan Creighton. We'll learn a little more about that $1 million Pioneer of the Nile cult for Todd Pletcher. I have not been blown away, to say the least, at his 2 races today, but more on him down the line in race number 9 this afternoon. 7th race does have a big drop down. I am very ambivalent here. Maybe I got a little gun happy here with the 8 Master Rory not having this horse 1, 2, 3, 4. I just don't totally buy that race. First out, that kind of quirky 5.5 furlong distance with the big fig, and Safi's been on a great run. He did a great job with Porter Street, winning on Friday. Had a nice win with Brooks Pistol in yesterday's 2nd. However, these 50% drops for the barn as of late, it's just been a tough go at short price.
And that's why when I was showing you my ticket, I went too deep because I just didn't trust that dropping to this level today. But look at those 2 races before the layoff. He comes out, he beats $35,000 maidens by 7 lengths. He follows that. He chases the pace. That's against 25 optional claimers. Now he comes back for $6,250. He's the logical choice, but you might be reluctant to commit on this horse.
And keep in mind, I mean, he's 5, so he didn't debut till his 5-year-old season. They got the money first time out. I'm wondering if there's a possibility he's quite simply a one-hit wonder, even with this precipitous drop to $6,250. So Get Go, and this is the other horse you used on your Rainbow Six. He becomes, if you're not a complete fan of Master Rory or you want some coverage, Get Go is very logical. It just seems with Tyler, the drop, it's go time, but go time at a better price than Master Rory.
Yeah, it comes out of that really nice race. Well, and a couple of next out winners turn it back to 5.5 furlongs for Get Go. I think is a good move for that horse. So that was why I used those 2 on the ticket. I'm not sold on Master Rory.
All right, as we get up and go into Sunday's 8th race, Father's Day 2018. Let's do it. Continuing with this 2 lifetime 3-and-up claiming race on the turf, going 5 furlongs. This one for the Colts and Geldings as we start the late pick 5. Getting off cheap today, just blowing up $12 in the late sequence. Had 4 of 5 in both pick 5s yesterday. Had my hand out for Madame Uno as the single in the 5th. She was ranked, got the wrong trip or whatever, ran 3rd. And then I didn't think Outrun, especially with the way the track was playing, could lose the last. I thought he was basically a lock, and he was basically eased at 1-2 at a 12-horse field. It's a tough game, folks, but we're back at it with the $12 play. That does see me with that scratch. I said a big move up without Tudor for Ruler of the Nile, who's been a tough horse to really gauge how good he is overall, aside from that gaudy $1 million auction purchase price. 2 horses in races 10, 11, and 12. Good news for me in the 11th. I have 2 hot barns. I've also got a couple of horses with speed. Do you like Giovanna's Magic in the last race here for A-Rod?
Yeah, I got it on top of that one in Tropical Gold in order. And I think those are I think the 5 and maybe the 3 and 10 are the logical horses in that final leg.
No doubt. I'm hoping that race, if I make it there, chalks out. And I've got, well, 3 horses in this opening leg. Not an easy race, to say the least, to start this late pick 5 sequence, Ronnie, as again, we run and gun with a take no prisoners kind of race at 5 furlongs on the turf. Give me a little Grand Malbec, who is lightly raced, coming in off a win, and just seems for a top barn, just seems properly spotted against winners.
Yeah, properly spotted. Right? Yeah, I know. I went with Little Plumber on top, returning to the turf for Kathleen O'Connell. Then I pull a stat after I pick the horse, and I'm looking Kathleen O'Connell, dirt to turf, all claiming in sprint. She's only 2 for 37%, 23% in the money. I've been finding these negative stats and putting horses on top. Right. So that just goes to show how conflicted I've been lately.
I know. Hey, anybody, and I may have had, and that's a really good stat, that, by the way. And Kathleen, it feels like she, A, trains a lot of turf sprinters, and B, wins a lot of turf sprints. So that stat is potentially very telling at what figures to be a short price. But when I moved here a year ago in May of 17, I'm thinking, well, it's spring and summer at Gulfstream. You're probably dealing with like 5- and 6-horse fields, one favorite after another. I learned really quickly it is basically the antithesis of that. And these races, day by day, they're just big fields and very difficult.
I saw him put a sign up as we were coming. It said, home of the 12-horse fields.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, talk about burning the midnight oil and burning the candle at both ends. That seems to be the case trying to work through these cards. But we do love it, and if you're watching this show, we know you love it too. So we can move on now to race number 9. This will go as our Father's Day feature, and a other than allowance optional claimer. And a nice little wrinkle here, whenever we get a 2-turn dirt race, with that first finish line in use, by the way, at a mile and a 16th, it's always a good thing. What do you do with the 5 Ruler of the Nile? We both have them on top. Again, I had really liked the 6-2 Dare, just a real tough battle-tested street fighter by Curlin. But he's out, so that's a moot point. I'm anxious to see what this horse does off a 65-day layoff, considering Todd shipped him to Tampa, ran for just $27,000 as a first-time starting and winning maiden back in March, and then he was eased over a sealed track last time out of Keeneland.
Keeneland, yeah. So, I mean, I didn't know what to make of him, just to make, you know, that track and fade performance. I'm going to show you a stat. Maybe this will help you make that decision with Todd Pletcher. A layoff of 61 to 180 days in dirt routes in the optional claiming ranks right here at Gulfstream Park. He's 5 for 16, 31%, 63% of the money with a positive return of investment, so he does a good job. I mean, a lot of those horses probably run during the wintertime, but sure. Todd is a regular man down here in the summer. And when else do you get to see a $1 million horse run on Father's Day? So it's interesting. It makes it exciting. Let's see how this horse runs.
Yeah, with that purchase price for sure. And I was just thinking, and the Lows have been great owners and great friends of the game for many decades. I think of their run with Danny Pites back in the 90s when I first got bit by the racing bug. But they bought Magnum Moon for like $350 or so, and I'm thinking, wow, you could have bought 3 Magnum Moons for the price of one.
That's a good
Ruler
point.
of the Nile.
That's
but
good.
Again, $1 million for this horse. We'll see what he does. He's got to beat Dizzy Gillespie, who's got to keep that good form going, and has got to prove he can stretch out to 2 turns.
And who did he get beat by last time? Fish Fan, who just exploded to victory.
Love that
those
Fish
two horses,
Fan.
I don't know what happened, but they are like you said, popping 90 figures now.
Crazy. And Stanley Gold, with Ronnie's other horse in the race, Asterisk, has been just as white hot as any barn here in South Florida. Already, over the last few cards, he's picked up his 12th win at the meet, and it's like, wow, if he keeps that up, he may be leading trainer by meet's end in just 2 Sundays, 2 weeks from now. Anyway, we'll move on to race number 10. We're on the turf at a mile and a 16th. These are $10,000 claimers set to go. A very difficult race. I think my comment with the late pick 5 with the number 8 horse in Schmiss is one dangerous miss. And I get a sense, you've got her second. She, in a way, almost reminds me of Extravagant Baby, who won, I think it was yesterday's 11th or 10th. Yeah, won late in the card. It was either the 10th or the 11th race. Whereas as I was working my way and just seeing, and she's been running fine and has been consistently good over her last few, I think she's just coming out of far better races against horses like Prado Vision and Miquaima and Pat M's Image. I think this is a notable drop in class for her.
I mean, she's a logical contender in there for sure. Phenomenal Gem, who I have on top, is stepping up to next level. Returned from that layoff to defeat those 2 lifetime claimers. I thought it was a strong late rally, at 7.5 furlongs. Edgard's Eyes just riding in good form. Previous winner out the distance. And what about Cosita Rica? 2 for 2 at a mile and a 16.
Oh, she's got a big chance. She's got Miguel Vasquez, who picked up a 2-win Saturday here. In fact, Miguel, 48 wins at the meet. Tyler Gaffleone, your leading rider into this Sunday Father's Day with 56. Race number 11 has another key rematch. This will go as our final dirt race of the weekend and of the week here at GP. It's a 2 lifetime 62.50 claimer, and another key rematch from just 2 weeks ago, smack dab on Sunday, June the 3rd. In this case, we're going to look at Octopithias, who was beaten as the 7-5 favorite, and you're going to want to watch the number 5 horse on this particular day in El Caval, who was able to gain a lot of ground over a speed-friendly track. Now, Octopithias definitely had his hands full, was not given a breather whatsoever, And although he got tired and weakened a little bit, ran okay. I originally, Ronnie, when I looked at this race on paper, because this was a day where early speed was good, and I'm going, oh, it's a big close from El Caval. He's probably going to get a good pace again to close into. However, I would note he was also able to run on the better part of the racetrack inside. So you might, to an extent, maybe want to take that good recent effort with the grain of salt. Do you want anybody out of that race from June 3rd?
Well, I use Octopithius in that race there, who's depart from the rail, vied for the lead, finished third, is the favorite at this level of distance. It's Oscar Gonzalez, lightens the impost. He's got 7-pound apprentice Raylu Gutierrez. This one is going.
Yeah.
So that if the track is like it was yesterday, that's where I'm going.
And he's probably tough. If we get the same track to the one we had Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Octopithius is the horse to beat. The good news, at least going in with McManaman, this horse isn't slow, and he's got the speed, I think, to be, especially going this mile distance because he's stretching out. He's got enough early oomph for Antonio Sano to be right up there, perhaps right off the flank of Octopithius.
Yeah, and Antonio Sano, barn been going great guns, third off the bench for them with Sammy Camacho in the saddle. So like that horse too, but that was my play with the one horse. Just thought that one would pop and go.
13 and counting here in victories for Antonio Sano. Gonavera got back from the farm, hit the track at GPW. Antonio's been white hot ever since then. We'll do the nightcap quickly here as we close down the Father's Day action with a 3-and-up filly mare, 12-5 maiden claimer, and you and I in the same ballpark. Giovanno's Magic makes a lot of sense, dropping to 12-5. The number 10 Order In also makes a lot of sense, getting back on her better surface.
Yeah, those are the logical 3 in the nightcap, I believe. So, you know, your choice, maybe you box them up in a trifecta or superfecta. I thought that's the way the race played out. Gave a little extra nod to Giovanna's Magic.
Little tropical gold, though, for Chuck Simon, trying to sneak that one in.
Oh, yeah, I thought you had that in there, too. No, tropical gold drops, returned from a layoff, set the pace, didn't run badly. Why not?
All right, why not? Well, we want you to have a good Father's Day, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going to have one.
I know. Well, you're at Gulfstream. It can't be bad. And that goes for everybody out there as well. Pete Aiello standing by. He's got those Father's Day scratches and changes coming up in just a few moments.
A passion for horses and a commitment to breed champions is the foundation of Hardacre Farm. Founded by Amy Tarrant, owner, breeder, and trainer, Hardacre Farm, based in Ocala, continues its tradition of success from the Breeders' Cup to Gulfstream Park. Hardacre Farm, from the breeding shed to the racetrack, in pursuit of producing the best.